Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Saturday, the 27th of March. I hope your weekend is starting great, folks. In the news, hi, I'm Paul. I'll be your host this morning. And in the news today, we'll have international cricket with the conclusion of the test match between Sri Lanka and the West Indies. We've got New Zealand versus Bangladesh in the one-day internationals, and also England versus India in the one-day internationals as well. We'll bring up to speed with how the NRL round 3 is going, as well as Super Rugby with the Super Rugby Aotearoa and Super Rugby AU with games yesterday. We'll catch up on the basketball in both the NBA and the NBL, as well as the football in the A-League. And we have hockey news, being an Olympic year as well, and golf with the European Tour and the LPGA. This is your best way to start the day, up to speed with all of the important sports news. Let's crack on straight away with that golf news. In the European Tour, the Kenya Savannah Classic has come to a conclusion. Congratulations to Van Todder, who won the playoff against Jane Watananond 11-12 in that one. Both finished at 21 under par in there. Next up for the PGA is the Masters, which is on the 8th to the 11th of April. In the LPGA, and it's the Kia Classic, and they're in round 2 is live as we speak. Popov and Park top the order at 8 under par. Lydia Ko, unfortunately, had a really tough day on the opening day, finishing at 2 over par. So she's in tied 62nd place. Her second round has yet to start. But we wish her the best in the rest of the Kia Classic. Don't forget to be here at 7 a.m. every single morning, where I'll keep you up to speed with all of the results from the LPGA. Moving on then to the NBA over there in the USA. Yesterday, just 5 games in that one. Some of the key results there: the Clippers beat the Spurs 98-85, and the Lakers lost to the 76ers 109-101. The Lakers really suffering with LeBron James out at the moment, meaning they're now on a 4-game losing streak and has slipped back in the Western Conference. The Jazz currently lead the Suns and the Clippers at the top there. And Pelicans, remember, down in 12th place, which is Stephen Adams' team. Over on the Eastern Conference, the 76ers top the table ahead of the Bucks and the Nets. Sticking with basketball, moving over to Australia for the NBL. We had one game yesterday as the Wildcats took on the Hawks. The Wildcats won that one 81-70. In there, the Breakers will be in action today against the Bullets. That starts at 7:30 New Zealand time. Staying in Australia, we'll look at the NRL news. 2 games yesterday as the Dragons took on the Sea Eagles 38 and beat them 38-12 in that one. A bit of a surprise, especially in the margin. I think in that one as Manly went down. The Rabbitohs also beat the Roosters at 26-18. The Warriors are in action today. That's at 5 p.m. and we'll have a report from that game tomorrow morning from Brad, who is a member of the Standoff show. Our host there, he'll be bringing us a report on the Warriors game against the Raiders. Sticking in Australia and on to the A-League. 4-1 seems to be a common result, because that's what the Phoenix won by the other night. But Melbourne City have beaten Western Sydney Wanderers 4-1 in that one. Melbourne City up in 2nd place currently. The Wanderers in 4th. So top of the table clash there. Big win for Melbourne City. 3 games today, but the Wellington Phoenix are back in action on Sunday at 6 o'clock against Macarthur FC. The Macarthur FC, the new team in the A-League, had a good start to their season, currently sitting 5th in the table. there. Moving on then to the cricket, and plenty of action there. The test between Sri Lanka and the West Indies finished in a draw. After the first innings, you just said that the result was definitely on the cards. Sri Lanka bowled out for 169 and the West Indies scoring 271. But then Sri Lanka in their second innings had a much better fist of it, scoring 476. And then the West Indies could not chase down that target of 375, finished at 236 for 4. Bonner was the man of the match in that one after his player of the match after his 113 unbeaten 113 to save the game for the West Indies. In the one-day international between India and England, and India posted a total of 336 for 6 in their innings. England had India in a bit of trouble at 2 for 37 until Kohli and Rahul came together for a century stand. Kohli scored 66. Once he was out, Pant accelerated the innings with Rahul. Rahul eventually out for 108, Pant for 77 off just 40 balls there, as India reached 336. England, in reply, started very, very well with a century stand between Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow until Roy was out for 55. This was backed up by another century stand between Bairstow and Stokes. Stokes out there for 99, just short of his century. They eventually got Johnny Bairstow for 124, but England saw it home, scoring their 337 runs for just a loss of 4 wickets with 6.5 overs to spare in that one. Johnny Bairstow with his 124, unsurprisingly taking a player of the match in that one. We also had the third ODI between New Zealand and Bangladesh. New Zealand went into that first, and Bangladesh had New Zealand in a little bit of trouble at 3 for 57. Guptill out for 26, Nichols for 18, and Ross Taylor for just 7. But Devon Conway, the man of the moment, scored 126 to save the innings. Daryl Mitchell also with a century, 100 and not out, to power New Zealand to 318 in that one. In response, Bangladesh never looked like troubling the score. With only 3 batsmen making it into double figures, but definitely a hat tip to Mahmood Mahmudullah, who scored 76 not out in that one, as Bangladesh were all bowled out for 154. 5 wickets for James Neesham, 4 for Matt Henry, and Carl Jamieson picking up the last one there. Devon Conway was player of the series and player of the match, unsurprisingly, as New Zealand won the series 3-0. Moving on then to the Super Rugby, and it was the first that we had the Highlanders versus Geordie Barrett, the Highlanders versus the Hurricanes. But Geordie Barrett scored all of the Hurricanes 30 points in that one for a record, beating Richard Mwanga's 28 points from a couple of weeks ago. Highlanders, so it finished 19 to 30 in that one. The Highlanders coming into this one as favourites, but with 7 changes, looked a bit disjointed, played more as individuals than as a team. And the Hurricanes, even with the yellow card, led 7-17 at half time, and never really looked in danger of losing the game as they controlled that one and saw it out. for their first victory of the season. We then saw one of the most dominant halves of rugby that you'll see as the Brumbies beat the Western Force 42-14. At half-time, it was 28-0. And you've got to say that was always going to be a long way back for the Force. The Brumbies really playing well after the bye week. Have a hope you all have a wonderful day, folks. This is your best way to start the day. It's with all the important sports news. I'll be back, as say, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with the morning sports briefing. Also, I'll be at the Chiefs versus Blues this evening, when we will I'll bring you all the post-match interviews from that, and Arswin will be leading the post-match reaction, so live reaction straight after the final whistle. So do join him at around about 9 p.m. after that Chiefs versus the Blues game. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and hi, Johnny Blaze in the live chat. Good to see that you have found us again on the new channel. Yes, we're no longer on the Driving Maul. It's no longer called the Driving Maul. It's called New Zealand Sports Radio. Now, we've been going for nearly a year, folks, doing this, bringing you all of these shows. If you would like to support New Zealand Sports Radio, you can head over to patreon.com/NZ Sports Radio and help keep this independent show alive. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend.